Back in 2020, I started calisthenics. It's been 4 years since I've started calisthenics. In my eyes, I've not made the same amount of progress that I've seen other people make in the same time frame. And the reason for that is because I used to train for a few months and be very consistent. And then there were months where I just wasn't consistent and I just used to play video games and just not do anything healthy with myself. A part of the reason why that was because I was kind of depressed, and I don't really like using the term depressed, but I was not very mentally okay. Before I continue, I just want to show you my snipe kill. Yeah, that was like 4 years ago. It still brings back good memories even though that wasn't a productive time. The lack of consistency definitely impacted my progress and my motivation in training in general. Not just calisthenics, just being active. Even though there were periods where I was training and I was not training, I was still consistent for some time within these 4 years. And now I've been consistent for at least 8 months and I've not had any problem with my drive and motivation. So how was I consistent back then, even when I was not mentally okay? And how am I consistent right now? There were two main things that actually impacted this. Before I tell you what these things are, if you are struggling with any of these things, definitely join my free calisthenics community where you can get direct help from me. Link in description below. Number one was having a trainer. So this is a picture of me and my trainer. We both used to train taekwondo with the same teacher, and that was when I was like 8 years old. So I've known him for at least I've known him for like 16 years of my life. Like during COVID, right before COVID started, I started training with him because he started like teaching kung fu and movement and mobility. So I started training kung fu with him, and then eventually we like segued to calisthenics because we were online and we could not really do any kung fu. Having him as my trainer definitely made me consistent, and it kept me accountable, and I had to train because he used to come to my home and train me before like the lockdown and stuff happened. There was like no way I could not train. He would literally come up to my house whenever I said like, I don't feel like training today. He would come up to my house and like literally force me to come, and yeah, it was basically impossible not to train when I was with him. And I still do train with him, but there was periods when we weren't training. There's another thing that has helped me be consistent even during the times when he's not here, and that is tapping into my core desire. So what do I mean by core desire? This pyramid is called the Maslow hierarchy of needs, and the bottom part is like what humans need to survive, and the rest of the stuff like comes after this. So security comes after this. In a gist, the three main core desires that humans have is money, sex, and status. So this is an action step for this video. I want you to think about and journal about what your core desire is. Train for that and be proud of it. Like, don't feel ashamed. So my core desire is having status and sex. I train calisthenics because I want both of these things. I'm not ashamed to say it, and neither should you be. And when you actually do tap into these core desires, when you actually like, go into the depths of why you're training, like you want that specific thing. Maybe you want to be the strongest guy in your friend group, or maybe you want, that girl in your class. Like, I don't know what it is. But when you start actually having that core desire, and whenever there are times when you think, okay, I don't want to train right now, you will remember the real reason why you train, and then like there's nothing that's going to stop you because it's actually such a motivational factor. That's it for the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to join the top 1% of calisthenics athletes, then click the link in the description below where you can join my free community.